it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
It's only about...
We have a metronome she enjoys, so we could do it.
That might be very helpful to do. The metronome, you just get it for
Yeah, we use it a lot, so.
Yeah, I would suggest putting this to a metronome because I've got like...
Yeah, I can hear it.
I've got like 3 different tempos going on.
Yep.
So that's going to make a big difference for her. And it doesn't take away from like the emotion part of it at all. But it does, like, if she's playing with a pianist, it's going to be very hard for them to follow because they have to figure out, oh, what's this next one going to be?
Yeah.
What's this next tempo?
Sure.
So just work on your tempos in that. Is that good? You understand what I'm talking about? Awesome. You ready for some Becker? Have you thought about a story for this at all? Like my Gremlins?
Well, I did on the way home in the car last time, but I forgot it.
Off the wall, that's all. You want to play Becker Gavotte for me?
I didn't know the wall counted as a chair.
You're not allowed to lean or do anything.
Your time
like
is dripping away.
I know, so let's do Becker Gavotte, please.
And I've been practicing perpetual motion.
With backwards
uppos?
But not the doubles.
Never. That game is never double.
We never asked her to do the doubles.
Never doubles, just singles.
I said I never did it.
Don't do the doubles. Because the rest is exactly the same as what we already played. Okay, I don't want to save time. I think number 1, start this piece off a little faster. It's a little bit too slow for you. Can you start at the beginning one more time? Just a teensy bit faster.
Oh, it's too fast.
No, that was good. That was good. Does that feel like a better tempo for you to fit everything in one bow?
It's a teeny bit too fast, but I think I can do it.
But somewhere right in that range, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a little bit too fast, but not too fast.
The way you first started it, it was way too slow. That's why you were running out of bow in places.
Oh.
Okay. With these double up bows at the beginnings, these backward circle bows, make sure you still have sound to the note. Do you hear it? Almost like a brush, brush. Try it again. Good, that was better. Did you feel how you could hear the note a little bit better that time? The other thing is, hear how I ended on that D? More or less. Right now I'm getting a less, more. I'm exaggerating, but more, less. Yes, do that again. So you hear that little accent. Keep going. More, less. So what I'm making sure is that the end of the phrases,
Quiet.
okay, are more, less, not less, more.
So
Would you like it if I ended the sentence, how are you today, Camilla? Scares you, right? That's exactly the opposite.
That's what I mean. I mean, I shouldn't.
That was actually the right way.
Yeah, I
okay?
was just doing it that time to see what it sounded like.
Right, so watch out for those. Right, watch out for those endings. Otherwise, it really kind of scares us.
Will we play
And
the
it takes us
Valentine's
aback.
play-in, or is it not very Valentine-y?
That's actually more Halloween-y. Halloween-y playing. For the B section, do you know what happens at the beginning? You know what's written in the music for those 3 notes?
Is it legato? Staccato? Oh, is it in the middle?
Something else written over those notes.
Double?
Accents.
Oh, yeah, I forgot!
And you have to make sure to save your bows for all those double ups.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure if it was legato or staccato, so I sort of made it in the middle, and then I forgot the accents because of doing that.
Accents.
So is it,
Can you
hard
save
thing is
even
that
more of your bow?
it's hard because you can't really do jumps in the middle of your bow. It's easier to do jumps when you're lower down, so I try to get low, and you can't really do jumps up here.
Not yet, you can't, but you will be able to.
It's hard.
You will be able to eventually, I promise. I'd rather you not worry so much about the jumps and more worried about getting the right sound and all those up bows in a row. Right? Like this.
Oh, so I don't jump?
You don't have to jump there. Right, so the jumping is something that you do hear on the CD a little bit, and it's definitely something you hear when you're looking at YouTube videos. That's a more advanced technique. I'd rather...
So just keep the jumps to the beginning.
Oh, but you
I'd rather
should
hear
accent it so it
every
looks like a
single
jump?
note on that up bow and have enough bow room to do it. When we come back to revisit this piece in a couple of years, we could start putting those jumps back in.
So if you
Don't worry about the
accent
jumps right now.
So if you accent it sounds like a jump, it sounds just as good, but it's easier.
If you get a staccato, yeah.
But you don't want to get them like that.
They shouldn't be accented, they should just be staccato. But these, how do you make a good accent?
Have your
Before that,
touch the ridge?
what's the first thing? First thing you need for an accent. Most important.
Middle of that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Stop your bow.
oh yeah.
So you can get more weight.
These my ears hurt.
Sorry, my violin's a little bit loud today.
Also, it hurt
But
when
you
I
stop
was
your,
going up
listen,
high.
you stop your bow, more weight, and then you release as soon as you hit that note, okay? Because we've got to back away. The best way I've explained it in this past couple weeks, a student gave me the perfect example. You know when you cannonball into a pool
Oh yeah. Well,
and you hit first, but then you kind of float back up?
Yeah.
That cannonball, when you first hit the water, is your accent. Afterwards, it's the floating back up. So listen. Can you picture that image? Like quick cannonballs? Doom, boom, boom.
I'll think of really fat ferrets falling into the
Or
river.
like 3 bears jumping into a pool.
No.
Okay.
I
Or
picture
that.
huge
Ferrets.
lemmings.
Ferrets.
Lemons.
No,
Better than you
lemmings.
think?
I
Lemmings.
picture lemmings falling into a pool.
Do, boo, boo. That's what it's got to
No, a
sound like.
hand
It's the-
dropping a lemming into the bathtub.
Perfect.
It's the stop, hit, release is
Okay.
what's most important about that. So listen
A
again.
hand dropping a lemming into the tub.
Okay, listen to Rachel.
And that last one is probably the hardest because we've got that double up.
Not hard.
Can you concentrate on those accents in there?
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I forgot.
no jumping your bow. Play it one more time.
Is it supposed to be? Yeah. Okay.
Last thing, we have one wrong note that you weren't getting. Where is it? That one.
Oh, what did I do?
It wasn't quite enough
Oh,
high
it
enough
wasn't?
3.
Oh, yeah.
Can you make it even higher? It's up there.
That's like the only bow circle that's not a.
Right. Do you understand what I'm talking about with that
Yeah.
high 3? So those are all things you could work on. So right now, it's at a very high standard level, okay? All your notes, except for that one, are right there ready to go. I'm just trying to make you jump to the next musical
Like
level, which is thinking more about the storyline. And even when you're thinking about the storyline, make sure we could still hear every single note, okay? Like at the beginning, making those longer, or I'd rather you do all those double ups than try to bounce your bow off the string a little too early, and I'm trying to catch where those notes are.
In gymnastics last year, the coach was good, but I didn't really learn all the special, like where your hands are. I only learned like the basic skills. And this year, my new teacher is good because she tells me like, point your toes here, your hands go up here, and your hips here.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to give you right now.
The final details.
I'm trying to give you the final details, and I know you want to do that bouncing off the bow stuff. I promise.
I don't care if I don't do
I
it.
promise.
She
you-
just didn't know. We just didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was supposed
I promise.
to do it.
I promise you, you're going to be able to learn that. But right now, I'd rather stick with a
Well,
simpler
the
thing.
young one I learned
A
that.
simpler thing that we're very able to do and execute very, very well, perfectly, and then we can come back later and we can add in that bouncing
And
off.
another repeats for.
Millie, I want to ask Rachel something. Sorry. Can you look at her vibrato a little? Because we've been trying to practice it, but we haven't done it in here since that first time. And
Let's
you're
see it.
probably out of time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, once
just
I
feel
did
like
a
it's
really
straying
good
a little
one.
bit.
Once I did a really, really, really good one. But
Disconnect your hand here. You don't want this knuckle
Oh,
to
okay.
touch. Let me do it for you.
Like,
Don't
my
move.
mom-
Let me do it
my
with
mom
you, okay?
said go like straighten your fingers instead of leaning here.
You should go back and forward.
Okay.
She always
Yeah, I
goes.
want to. I want Diana to see what you are doing.
Don't move your hand. Let me control her. No, I want to do it for you right now. Okay, that's why I think we're missing a step. It's because you're trying to do it without us.
My fingers aren't on the strings.
On the string. Keep your hand nice and loose. Can you take your first and second finger off and just put third finger on? She's much looser with only one finger on at a time. When we put all three on and we're trying to vibrato, it's like trying to vibrato our
It's
whole
easier.
arm.
Well, I thought it was easier to do it the other way, but maybe it's not.
It's actually easier to do it with just one finger on at a time. And what we want
Feel sorry for headless Finn.
Okay, just focus, Millie.
is we're looking for this. Watch. Like we're bending the note. So we're at the note, then we're going lower, then we're back to the note, lower. Pepperoni, pepperoni, pepperoni. And we can start speeding it up to about